Let me tell you something about Christmas that most people never admit out loud. Sometimes the season that's filled with lights can expose the darkest corners of our hearts. This story begins in a small town called Willow Creek, a place where every porch carried a wreath, every window glowed with warm lights, and every neighbor smiled like they were made of sugar and cinnamon. But inside one little brick house at the end of Maple Street lived a woman who felt absolutely none of it. Her name was Grace Walters, a widow, 42 years old, and carrying a silence so heavy it felt like a second winter inside her chest. It was her first Christmas without her husband, Daniel. The world outside was loud with cheer, but inside her home, everything was quiet. Too quiet. She would sit by the window at night, watching the neighborhood children throw snowballs, listening to distant carols, staring at a wreath on her own door she never meant to buy. The store clerk had talked her into it, saying, "Maybe it'll brighten your home." But nothing felt bright, not anymore. One evening, a week before Christmas, Grace noticed something strange. The small candle she kept on her kitchen counter, a white candle Daniel had given her years ago, kept lighting itself. She would blow it out, walk away, and minutes later, she'd return to see a tiny flame glowing again. At first, she thought it was the draft. Then maybe she forgot to extinguish it properly. But after the third night, something inside her whispered, "What if it's a sign?" Daniel had always called her his light, said she brightened rooms without meaning to, said Christmas never truly started until he saw her smile. But since he passed, she hadn't smiled once, not truly. The next morning, Grace stepped out to check her mailbox and saw little Tyson, the 7-year-old boy next door, sitting alone on his porch steps. No gloves, no hat, just holding a broken ornament. His mother had been working 2 jobs since summer, after Tyson's dad left. Money was tight. Christmas gifts were unlikely. Grace walked past him at first, but his quiet sniffles stopped her. She turned. Kneeling beside him, she said softly, "Hey, what's wrong, sweetheart?" He held up the ornament. "It was the only one my dad left behind, but I dropped it." Grace felt something crack open inside her chest. Not pain, not sadness, something small and warm. Without thinking, she said, "Come inside, we'll fix it." And before I continue, if this story is touching your heart even a little, go ahead and tap the like button. It helps more people hear stories just like this one. Inside her kitchen, as she pulled out glue and ribbon, Tyson noticed the candle on the counter. "Why is it on in the daytime?" he asked. Grace froze. "I don't know," she whispered. "I keep trying to blow it out, but it just stays lit." Tyson smiled a little. "Maybe someone wants you happy." Grace swallowed. That night, she didn't blow out the candle. She let it burn, and something inside her softened, just a little. The next day, Tyson's mother knocked on Grace's door, embarrassed, apologizing for Tyson's visit. Grace invited her in. For the first time in months, Grace brewed hot chocolate for someone else. They talked. They laughed a little. Grace caught herself smiling without forcing it. When they got up to leave, Tyson pointed to the wreath on her door. "It's pretty," he said. "Did you make it?" Grace hesitated. "No, but maybe I can learn." Tyson's eyes lit up. "Can I help? Mum says we don't have enough money for decorations this year." Grace felt her heart melt completely. "Yes," she said, "we'll make our own Christmas." And so they did. They made a wreath out of dollar store ribbons, old bows, broken ornaments, and tiny treasures Tyson found around his home. It wasn't perfect, it wasn't fancy, but it was beautiful. Beautiful because it was theirs. Over the next week, Grace's home slowly filled with life again. Tyson and his mom visited every afternoon. They made decorations, baked cookies, sang off-key carols, and shared stories. The candle stayed lit the entire time. On Christmas Eve, Grace finally whispered aloud, "Daniel, if this is your doing, thank you." Outside, snow fell softly. Inside, laughter drifted through the house. And in her heart, for the first time since losing him, Grace felt peace. After Tyson and his mother left that night, Grace noticed a small envelope on her kitchen table. It wasn't there before. Her hands trembled as she opened it. Inside was a note, written in Daniel's handwriting. The note said, "If you ever feel the light fading, share yours with someone who needs it. That's how you'll find me again." Grace fell to her knees and cried, not from pain, but from love. Deep, overwhelming, healing love. And then she understood. The candle wasn't stubborn. It wasn't strange. It was a reminder, a message, a promise. That Christmas, Grace learned something she would never forget. Sometimes, the light we're searching for comes from the people we choose to care for, and the ones who quietly care for us. Because love never really leaves. It just finds new ways to shine.